Before you scroll, pause for just a moment. This is not an accident. You did not click on this video by chance. Out of the millions of videos you could have watched today, your eyes stopped here. Why? Because I believe God has something He wants you to hear before this day moves any further. So don't rush, don't skip ahead. Just listen with an open heart, because the words you're about to hear may speak directly to the burden you've been carrying in silence. My child, I know you've been trying to stay strong. You've smiled when your heart wanted to cry. You've encouraged others while secretly wondering who would encourage you. You've prayed prayers that no one else knows about. And there have been nights when you looked toward heaven and whispered, "Lord, are you still listening? Hear me clearly today." Yes, I have heard every prayer, even the ones you couldn't finish because tears filled your eyes, even the ones you spoke only in your thoughts. Nothing you have whispered has escaped my attention. I have been with you through every lonely morning, every silent afternoon, and every restless night. You may not have felt my presence, but my presence has never left you. Many people believe that if they cannot see me working, then nothing is happening. But the greatest miracles often begin where human eyes cannot see. Think about a seed. When it is placed beneath the ground, everything above the surface looks exactly the same. Days pass, nothing changes. Weeks pass, still nothing. If someone judged the seed only by what they could see, they would believe it had died. But beneath the soil, life is quietly beginning. Roots are reaching deeper, strength is developing, a future is being prepared. My child, that is exactly where you are. You have been looking at the surface of your life and wondering why nothing seems to be changing. But I have been working beneath the surface. I have been strengthening your heart, healing wounds that no one else knows about, removing fears that have controlled you for years, teaching you to trust me instead of your circumstances. The work I do, inside, you will always be greater than the things I first do around you, because changed circumstances can bring temporary happiness, but a transformed heart brings lasting peace. Perhaps you have been asking, "Lord, why is everything taking so long?" Because I am building something that will last. Quick victories often disappear as quickly as they arrive. But what I build through patience, no storm can easily destroy. Remember the seasons when you thought everything was falling apart. Looking back now, can you see how some of those disappointments actually protected you? Can you see how certain closed doors kept you from walking into places that would have stolen your peace at the time? You called it rejection. Today you call it wisdom. That is how my love often works. I see what you cannot. I know what tomorrow holds. I know the conversations that have not happened yet, the opportunities that are already moving toward you, the people you have not met, the prayers I have already begun answering in ways you cannot yet recognize. So do not let today's silence convince you that tomorrow has no hope. Your story is still unfolding. You are not reading the final chapter. You are living through a chapter of preparation. And preparation often feels uncomfortable. It stretches your faith. It tests your patience. It teaches you to depend on me instead of your own understanding. Do not fear this season. Do not run from it. Walk through it with confidence, because every step you take with me is leading you somewhere your own strength could never have taken you. The road may seem uncertain. The answers may still be hidden, but my promises have not changed. What I have spoken over your life still stands, not because you have been perfect, but because I remain faithful. So before we go any further, take a deep breath. Release the pressure you've been carrying. Stop trying to solve tomorrow before living today. Give me your fear. Give me your uncertainty. Give me the questions that have kept you awake at night. Because what I am about to reveal next may completely change the way you see this season of your life. Keep listening. The message has only just begun. Now listen closely. There is something many people never realize until years have passed. The greatest obstacle in your life is not always the mountain standing in front of you. Sometimes it is the voice inside you that keeps whispering, wait a little longer. Maybe you're not ready. What if you fail again? That voice can sound wise, it can even sound careful, but if it keeps you from walking where God is leading you, it is not leading you toward peace. It is leading you into paralysis. My child, I know the questions hidden deep within your heart. I know the prayers you never spoke aloud because you were afraid they would remain unanswered. I know the dreams you quietly placed on the shelf after disappointment visited your life one too many times. You have learned how to survive. But I did not create you merely to survive. I created you to live with purpose. Remember Peter when he saw Jesus walking on the water. The storm did not disappear before Peter stepped out of the boat. The wind was still strong, the waves were still rising, nothing around him looked safe. Yet one word from Jesus changed everything. Come! That single invitation was greater than every wave surrounding him. The miracle did not begin when Peter understood everything. The miracle began the moment he trusted the one who called him. Many people are waiting for every fear to disappear before they obey. But faith rarely works that way. Faith often begins while your hands are still shaking, while your future still looks uncertain, while you still have questions. Because faith is not confidence in yourself. Faith is confidence in God's character. Perhaps today you feel like you have been standing in the same place for far too long, watching opportunities pass, watching others move forward, wondering if your season has already ended. But hear this carefully. God has never measured your future by your past failures. People may remember where you stumbled. God remembers where He is leading you. The enemy wants you to keep staring at closed doors. God wants you to notice the door that is quietly opening in front of you. Not every opportunity will arrive with loud signs. Some of heaven's greatest invitations come as a gentle whisper, a quiet conviction, a deep peace that refuses to leave your heart. Do not ignore that peace. The world tells you to follow your fears. God calls you to follow His voice. There will always be reasons to delay. There will always be another excuse, another confirmation, another perfect moment to wait for. But if you wait until every uncertainty disappears, you may never discover the miracle waiting on the other side of obedience. My child, I have not forgotten the promises I placed inside your heart. The dreams that seem impossible to others are not impossible to me. I planted those desires for a reason. Not every desire comes from ambition. Some are planted by heaven to prepare you for the assignment I created specifically for your life. So stop measuring yourself by yesterday. Stop comparing your journey with someone else's. I am writing a story that belongs only to you. Every delay has taught you something. Every disappointment has strengthened something. Every tear has watered something you cannot yet see. Nothing you surrendered to me has been wasted. Even the seasons that felt silent have been preparing your roots for greater fruit. So today, lift your eyes again, hope again, pray again, believe again, because the God who carried you yesterday is already waiting in your tomorrow. And in the next part, I want to show you why the door you've been praying for may already be opening, even if you cannot see it yet. Now, stay with me for a moment, because what I'm about to show you could change the way you see this entire season. You have been asking me to open a door. But what if the door is already unlocked, and the only thing holding you back is the fear of taking the first step? My child, many people believe that miracles always arrive with thunder, dramatic signs, or instant answers. But more often, my greatest works begin quietly, like a seed beneath the soil. No applause, no audience, no evidence that anything is happening, yet beneath the surface, life is already beginning. That is where many of you are today. You look at your life and see silence. I look at your life and see preparation. You see delay, I see development. You see empty ground, I see roots growing deeper than you can imagine. Never mistake hidden growth for abandoned purpose. The strongest trees spend years growing roots before the world ever notices their branches. In the same way, I have been strengthening your heart in places no one else can see. Every tear you cried in secret, I saw it. Every prayer whispered through exhaustion, I heard it. Every time you wanted to give up but chose to keep believing, I was beside you. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has been wasted. Even the moments you regret have become lessons that I can use for your good. That is my grace. I do not only restore broken people, I restore broken seasons. Think about Joseph. There were years when it looked as though every dream had failed. He was rejected by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, forgotten in prison. If someone had looked only at those moments, they would have said his story was over. But I was writing chapters Joseph could not yet read. The prison was not the end. It was preparation for the palace. My child, do not judge your entire future by one painful chapter. You are still in the middle of the story. And I am still the author. There are blessings already moving toward you that you cannot see. There are conversations taking place that you know nothing about. There are doors I am preparing before you ever arrive. There are hearts I am already touching. This is why I tell you, do not lose hope because you cannot yet see the outcome. Walk by faith, not by sight. When you choose faith over fear, you make room for my peace to lead you. And my peace will often guide you before your circumstances begin to change. Perhaps you have been asking, Lord, why is this taking so long? The answer is not always because I am saying no. Sometimes it is because I am building something that will last. Quick success can disappear overnight, but what I build with wisdom can bless generations. Trust my timing. Not because waiting is easy, but because my timing sees what yours cannot. One day, you will look back and realize that every delay protected you from something you never knew existed. Every closed door redirected you toward something better. Every disappointment taught you to depend on me instead of your own understanding. So today, do not allow impatience to steal your peace. Do not let discouragement silence your prayers. Lift your eyes once more. The story is not ending. It is unfolding. And the chapter ahead carries more hope than the chapter behind, because I am already walking ahead of you, preparing a path that only faith will discover. So keep listening, because in the next part, I want to reveal why the battle you've been fighting may be much closer to its breakthrough than you realize. The breakthrough you have been praying for is often closer than it appears, but before the breakthrough becomes visible, something must first change within your heart. My child, many people spend their lives asking me to change their circumstances, yet they never allow me to change the way they see those circumstances. Perspective changes everything. Two people can stand in the same storm. One sees only destruction. The other sees the beginning of a new season. The difference is not the storm. The difference is who they choose to trust. I know this season has tested your patience. There were mornings when you felt strong enough to believe, and there were nights when even your prayers felt heavy. You wondered if anyone in heaven could still hear your voice. But every prayer reached me. Not one tear escaped my notice. Not one silent cry was ignored. Even when you felt alone, I was closer than your next breath. There were moments when I protected you from things you never knew existed. There were doors I quietly closed because they would have led you away from the future I prepared for you. At the time, those closed doors felt like rejection. Today, I want you to see them as protection. Not every no is a punishment. Sometimes it is love working in ways you cannot yet understand. Remember David. Before he wore a crown, he wore the clothes of a shepherd. Before the nation recognized him, I was preparing him in hidden places. The lonely fields taught him courage. The silent nights taught him to trust my voice. The battles with the lion and the bear prepared him for Goliath. Nothing in David's journey was wasted, and nothing in your journey has been wasted either. Every challenge has been shaping something inside you, a stronger faith, a gentler heart, a deeper dependence on me. You often ask me to remove every obstacle, but sometimes the obstacle becomes the classroom where your faith grows stronger. If I removed every battle, you would never discover the strength I placed within you. If I answered every prayer immediately, you would never learn how faithful I am while you wait. My child, do not confuse waiting with being forgotten. Seeds spend time beneath the soil before they ever reach the sunlight. Yet during that hidden season, life is already growing. That is exactly what I have been doing in you. Even when you could not feel my hand, I was still working. Even when nothing around you appeared to change, I was changing you. And often, the greatest miracle is not the one happening around you. It is the one happening inside you, because once your heart begins to trust me completely, fear starts losing its voice. Peace becomes stronger than panic, hope becomes greater than disappointment, and faith becomes louder than every doubt. So do not measure my presence by your emotions. Measure it by my promises. My promises do not change with the weather. They do not disappear because of delay. They do not lose power because someone else stopped believing. What I have spoken, I am faithful to complete. So lift your head. Do not walk like someone carrying defeat. Walk like someone who knows the Father is leading every step. The road ahead may still require courage, but you will never walk it alone, because I have gone before you. I walk beside you, and my hand remains upon you even when you cannot see it. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal next may answer the question you have carried in your heart for far longer than you realize. The question you have carried for so long is this: Lord, if you are truly with me, why has this season lasted so long? My beloved child, length is not the same as abandonment. Just because a season has been difficult does not mean I have stepped away from you. Look back for a moment. There were days you thought you would never survive, moments when your strength was gone, nights when tears became your only prayer. Yet somehow you are still here. That was not your strength alone. That was my hand holding you when you could no longer hold yourself together. Sometimes you only recognize my faithfulness after you have already walked through the valley. While you are inside the valley, you often see only shadows. But when you reach higher ground, you begin to notice something extraordinary. You were never walking alone. I was carrying burdens you never even knew existed. There were attacks I stopped before they ever reached your life. There were disappointments that protected you from greater heartbreak. There were delays that kept you from stepping into places that would have stolen your peace. You called those moments setbacks. I called them mercy. My child, never assume that silence means I have stopped working. When an artist paints a masterpiece, there are moments when the canvas appears unfinished. If someone judged the painting too early, they would completely misunderstand the artist's vision. Your life is no different. Do not judge my work before I have finished it. Trust the hands that are still creating. Remember Noah. For years he built an ark while seeing no sign of rain. Many people laughed, many people doubted. Nothing around him seemed to confirm what I had spoken, yet Noah continued building. His obedience was not based on public opinion. It was built upon trust. There will be seasons when the people around you cannot understand what I am doing in your life. Do not let their doubts become your direction. Listen for my voice above every other voice, because my plans are not determined by human approval. They are fulfilled through faithful obedience. My child, I have been teaching you something deeper than patience. I have been teaching you dependence. There is a difference. Patience waits for the blessing. Dependence learns to rest in my presence before the blessing arrives. When your heart learns that lesson, fear begins to lose its control. Anxiety no longer decides your future. Peace becomes your foundation instead of your reward. That is why I keep calling you closer, not because I want something from you, but because I desire something greater for you. I want your heart to become so rooted in my love that changing circumstances no longer shake your identity. Storms may still come, unexpected challenges may still appear, but the one whose foundation is built upon me will not be destroyed by temporary winds. So today, release the weight you were never created to carry alone. Stop trying to control every tomorrow. Give me today's burden. Give me today's worry. Give me today's unanswered question. You do not need to know everything about the road ahead. You only need to keep walking with the one who already knows the destination. And as you continue forward, you will begin to notice something beautiful. The fear that once controlled your decisions will slowly become quieter. The peace you thought was impossible will become familiar. The faith that once felt fragile will become steady. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because you discovered that my presence is greater than every uncertainty. Keep listening, because what I want to reveal next is not only about where I am taking you, it is about the person I am transforming you into along the way. The person I am shaping you into is stronger than the person you used to be, not because life has become easier, but because you have discovered that my strength is greater than your weakness, my beloved child. There was a time when every unexpected problem stole your peace. Every disappointment made you question your future. Every delay tempted you to believe that I had forgotten you. But look at you now. You are still standing. You are still seeking me. You are still listening for my voice. That alone is evidence that I have been working within you. Transformation rarely happens in a single moment. It happens one decision at a time. Every time you chose to pray instead of giving up, something inside you became stronger. Every time you forgave someone who hurt you, your heart became freer. Every time you trusted me when you could not understand what I was doing, your faith grew deeper. You may not have noticed these changes because they happened little by little. But heaven noticed. I noticed. There are victories that the world never celebrates. The quiet victory of choosing hope when despair feels easier. The hidden victory of remaining kind when others become bitter. The unseen victory of believing my promises when your circumstances seem to say the opposite. Those victories matter. In fact, they are preparing you for blessings that require a stronger heart. Many people ask me for greater opportunities. Few ask me to build the character needed to carry them. If I gave you everything you asked for before your heart was ready, the blessing itself could become a burden. That is why preparation is an act of love. I do not prepare you because I want to delay your future. I prepare you because I want you to enjoy it when it arrives. Think of a builder constructing a great house. The deepest work happens before the walls ever appear. The foundation is hidden. No one stops to admire it, yet without that unseen foundation, everything built above it would eventually fall. My child, for a long time, I have been building foundations inside your life, a foundation of wisdom, a foundation of humility, a foundation of patience. A foundation of faith that does not depend on perfect circumstances. One day, people may see the blessings. They may celebrate what I have done in your life, but they will never fully understand the hidden seasons that prepared you to carry those blessings with gratitude instead of pride. So do not despise the quiet seasons. Do not rush through them, even when nothing seems exciting. I am accomplishing eternal work within you. There is another truth I want you to remember today. Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of joy. when you constantly compare your journey to someone else's. You begin questioning my timing. You begin wondering why another person appears to be moving faster, but you do not know the road I have called them to walk, and they do not know the road I have prepared for you. Your assignment is unique. Your story is unique. Your calling is unique. That is why comparison will always leave your heart empty. Instead, celebrate the victories of others. Pray for them, encourage them, and trust that what I have planned for you does not need to be taken from anyone else. I have enough grace for every person I have created. Your blessing is not delayed because someone else was blessed. Your purpose is not cancelled because another door opened for someone else. I am not limited. My resources never run dry. My promises never compete with one another. Lift your eyes away from comparison and fix them upon me. The peace you have been searching for is not found in knowing what everyone else is doing. It is found in walking closely with me each day. There will always be distractions, voices that tell you to hurry, voices that tell you that you are falling behind, voices that tell you that your best days are already gone. Do not believe those voices. I am the author of time. I know exactly where you are, I know exactly what you need, and I know exactly when each promise should unfold. So breathe deeply. Release the pressure to figure everything out today. You were never asked to carry tomorrow's answers. You were only invited to trust me with today's step. Walk faithfully, love generously, pray sincerely, remain humble, and keep your eyes fixed on my voice rather than the noise surrounding you. Because the journey you are walking is leading to something far greater than temporary success. It is leading you into the person I created you to become. And in the next part, I will reveal why the greatest blessing I have prepared for you may arrive in a way you never expected. The greatest blessing I have prepared for you may not arrive the way you imagined. It may come quietly, not with loud applause, not with the world's attention, but with a peace so deep that you will know it could only have come from me, my beloved child. For so long you have been looking ahead, wondering when everything will finally make sense. You have asked, Lord, when will I see the purpose behind all of this? The answer is closer than you think. One day you will look back on this very season, not with pain, but with gratitude. You will realize that what felt like delay was actually direction. What felt like loss became protection. What felt like silence became preparation. And what felt like the end became the place where a new beginning quietly started. I never stopped writing your story, even on the days when you thought nothing was happening. I was arranging details you could never have arranged yourself. I was opening hearts you had never met. I was moving circumstances beyond your vision. I was making a way where you saw none. That is why I ask you today, trust me one more time, not because every question has been answered, but because I have proven my faithfulness again and again. Think about how many times you believed you would never recover. Yet here you are, still breathing, still hoping, still searching for my voice. That is not an accident. That is grace. There is something beautiful about a heart that refuses to stop believing. It becomes unshakable, not because life is always easy, but because it has learned that my presence is enough. My child, do not spend your days chasing certainty. Chase my presence, because when you walk with me, even uncertain roads become places of purpose. The future does not belong to fear. It belongs to those who continue walking in faith, even when they cannot yet see the destination. So release the burden of trying to control every outcome. Release the pressure of comparing your journey to someone else's. Release the disappointment that has been sitting quietly in your heart. Place it all into my hands. There is no burden too heavy for me, no prayer too small, no dream too broken, no life too far from restoration. I am still the God who restores. I still heal wounded hearts. I still open impossible doors. I still make rivers in the desert. I still bring light into the darkest night, and I am still writing miracles in the lives of those who trust me. So when fear whispers, "It is over," remember my promise. I am not finished. When doubt says, "There is no way," remember my power. Nothing is impossible for me. When loneliness tells you no one sees you, remember this truth. I have never taken my eyes off you, not for a single moment. Before we finish, take a quiet moment with me. Breathe deeply. Let every anxious thought become still. Whisper this simple prayer in your heart. Lord, I choose to trust you, even when I cannot understand the road ahead. Strengthen my faith. Guide my steps. Fill my heart with your peace. Help me to walk in hope instead of fear. And let my life reflect your love every single day. Amen. My child, walk into this day with confidence, walk with kindness, walk with courage, walk knowing that you are deeply loved. The road ahead may still hold challenges, but it also holds my promises. And my promises never return empty. If this message reached your heart today, carry it with you. Return to these words whenever you begin to feel discouraged, and remember this one final truth. You are never walking toward tomorrow alone. I am already there, waiting to welcome you into every new step with my unfailing love. May my peace guard your heart. May my wisdom guide your decisions. May my hope fill your spirit. And may you always remember you are held in my hands. Now go forward in faith, because your story is not ending. By my grace, it is only just beginning.